1. Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. Bookmark Amove TV for other great video games and esports podcasts. Into the Nexus is sponsored by listeners like you via patreon.com/ITN. Greetings and welcome back, everybody. This is Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm, and also a little bit of Blizzard news, which we'll do at the end of the show today. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, here as always with Kyle Fergusson, and we're back. We're back, Kyle. We're going to talk Heroes today.
Yes, Heroes shall flow, and very excited to talk about all the happenings over on Heroes of the Storm, what's happening in the community, what's happening with our own play. But Garrett's absolutely right. So if you would like to know the ongoing business that's happening at Activision Blizzard, we are going to have a new section at the end of the show. It'll be very tight, journalistic, like you might have experienced in the previous episode. So you can make your choice then when you hear the lovely banner that's been constructed.
Yes, banner, bumper, banner.
I guess audio, they can call it banner.
Audio, place, setting. It sets the place you are currently listening. That's what we're doing. Yeah. It as we expected, this is going to be a story that's going to be going on for a while, so we figured we should probably make a segment for it. So we're going to lead our shows with Heroes, unless something like really big happens, and then we'll get to that. So anyways, man, back to the Heroes grind this week. I got to play with you in CCS.
Yes, it was a delight having you. Kai Berries has been busy with some wisdom business, and we've been needing a fill. So the previous week, you joined us as like off lane, but there's lots of requirements and lots of opinions, and I say opinions in the best way. Basically, I have, through osmosis, played with Cavalier Guest enough that I can mostly read his mind as to what he expects out of the off lane. We threw you up there with no grace, no warning, no booklet on what you should be doing. And we fought a very, very hard team last week. This week, we put you on the support role, and it was fabulous. And everybody was kind of in their main roles. You were filling in for Kai Berries. You played some Brightwing. You played some Lily, and it was just a grand time.
Yeah. You got to play the role you usually play, which certainly seemed to help. Also, the opposing team wasn't entirely Grandmasters like they were last week when I played with you.
Last week. So there's a little bit of thing going on with that previous team. They practice every night of the week, which means they don't play ranked much, is kind of what we've gathered. So by doing so, their ranks may not reflect their skill, but their skills are absolutely warranted with the amount of practice they play, which is every night of the week. So naturally, and just imagine anything else, there's combos, there's execution, there's extremely skilled plays, and we got destroyed.
Oh, wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Yeah. Rickety wrecked, son. But yeah, had a lot of fun playing with you all, man. I need more Brightwing in my life. Luckily, I only sat in for a single evening, so it was 3 games, and because I don't have a lot of healers under my belt anymore, but Brightwing is one of them, Lily is the other, and those are the 2 that I played.
Hey,
it worked out really well.
With you, Cav works with your roster to make you succeed.
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely have heard sounds of disappointment in his voice when I would tell him my solo lane roster. So I think we're fitting in.
It didn't have Hogger in it. That's all that was the problem.
It will never have. I don't like playing Hogger. That
really?
Kit. Yeah. Hey, remember when it debuted and you were like, 2 Tasmanian Devils is goofy, I'm not into it? I'm still there. I cannot get past it's just the theming is so goofy. I'm
hurt.
I don't like it.
I'm taking this personal because I played so amazing this past week that I had hoped I might have made you a little jealous. Like, I want to be like Kyle. I want to be that guy.
Well, Kyle, I got to experience something that I don't usually experience, which was, since I was not in the solo lane, I never looked at it or noticed what was happening in it.
Oh, that's fair.
Even to your credit, you were never in trouble, and I never had to really port to you. So, I'll this isn't meant to be a dig. I just had no reason to check on you.
I totally get that. I was doing my job much like the Bender space gas before us.
Bender space. Oh, if you do something right, no one will notice that you've done anything at all.
Exactly. Like old Abathur. But now Abathur is like really, really impactful in the late game, and you absolutely notice because you're going, why is everyone dying?
Dude, I had a 30-minute Dragonshire where my randos refused to just attack core when we got the Dragon Knight 3 times with the core exposed. So we ran in, we did like a dive run at the core 3 separate times, and it was because no one was killing the mule from the Abathur on the enemy team. It was also because I never got the dragon, and all the 4 other members just refused to attack the core of the dragon.
Gotta farm that XP while you can.
Yeah. The chat room's joking that you can't end until all the keeps die, which I've seen that joke around. I really haven't experienced it. But this game, oh boy, that's exactly what was going on. There was a keep left at one time. I think they went back to destroy a fountain that got missed. I was so tilted. I've never been so tilted winning in a very, very long time. You just made me think of that. So I hope you enjoyed that little story time. But
that's fair. Well, I definitely want to hear more about Zagara, but I do have, while speaking of the baby on board team, I've got some very sad news.
Oh.
By absolute just human error, we did not sign up for NGS.
Oh, okay. I don't know this story. I just saw in the notes here that it just says baby on board will not be part of this NGS season, and I assumed there was scheduling issues, maybe some drama. I wanted to hear about. So you're telling me you just forgot to sign up?
A Wednesday was mistaken. And that Wednesday passed, and the next Wednesday we went to sign up, and it was no longer available.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Kyle.
It sucks, man. It sucks.
That is like max level, just embarrassing. When you're just like, who do you blame? You got no one to blame.
I'm taking it in stride. I'm just taking it to the face because, maybe we could be like, we're as community members and we do these shows and these streams and we got all these people. Like, surely you can. No. We'll be there to scrim. We'll help other teams out. We're happy to, if you're in NGS, particularly that kind of Division A area, if you want a scrim buddy, you want to get some practice in, absolutely message me, message us, because we'd be happy to help you out as though we're actually playing for realsies. But, the team will have to wait till next season to participate.
Well, I'm sorry, man. But I'm happy to fill in for you as needed.
Yeah.
On your now limited game nights.
Well, we're still in CCS. So Can't Counter Stupid is still running the Nexomania for Fun tournament. And that is still ongoing. I'm not sure for how long, but we'll probably be needing you in there. And it was a real delight. I'm just sad that all my showing off was completely missed because Hogger takes care of himself so well.
It's solo lane, man. If you're doing it right, if you're doing it right, it's completely missed. But the only person that is there to witness your greatness is the other solo laner.
Well, Chen, I hope you enjoyed it.
I respect other solo laners, man. I respect them. Well, anyways, we're going to talk where the meta has settled since the most recent patch, which I haven't even really had a chance to talk about on the program. But before we get to that, we want to thank those of you supporting us in the Nexus as if it's any surprise. It's completely independent. The only money we make from this is from the occasional sponsor and our lovely, lovely supporters over at patreon.com/ITN, who our patrons wouldn't even know we had sponsors because they don't hear sponsor reads. They get an ad-free version of this podcast for supporting us for their trouble. Any level gets access to that, as well as the Discord and signups for our monthly game nights where we play with you. So $1 or more over at patreon.com/ITN gets you access to all those perks. And I just want to say thanks to new signups over at the Patreon. Thank you to Michael Hudson. Thank you to Trey Yarbrow, and Andrew Twyman. That's how I'm going to choose to pronounce those. And if I mispronounce your last name, just remember my name is Garrett Wiener Schnitzel.
And everything's annulled in such ways.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. Keep your ears and eyes peeled for signups for our next monthly game night. We'll be scheduling that very soon. I had finals for my masters, which is why we haven't done that yet. Been a little hit the ground running coming back from my vacation.
That's all right. I think we might be doing a little change up this season, maybe moving into some quick match options as well, just to put together some comps. As ARAM is just going so speedy through our evening, we can actually fit more games into our little evening if we change the schedule up a little bit.
I'm down for that. A little quick match here and there never hurt anybody.
Well, except for your 30-minute game.
Well, listen, I wouldn't consider winning being hurt. Just, I would consider a long game time that didn't need to be that long inconvenienced. Like being stuck in a traffic jam, but still getting to Disney.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. You're still on time for opening. You know, you get to ride the monorail.
Yeah. I want to go back to Disney so bad. I was looking up annual passes. It's a hellhole right now. They don't sell them. Anyways, this is not a Disney show. This is a Heroes of the Storm show. So let's talk about what's happening in Heroes right now.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Point me to the stage.
Stay a while and listen.
So it's been 2 weeks since the most recent Heroes of the Storm patch, and we wanted to take a look and see where everyone has settled. And I didn't add Kyle to the image overlay, so I'll do that in the background for the video viewers while I also try and give you my thoughts, Kyle, because I haven't had a chance to talk about it.
Yes, we did that episode with Bahamut, who guested and did a fabulous job giving us some insight into the professional scene and what they were going to be dealing with over the weekend. By the way, they did confirm that they did not want to deal with Zagara, and they just banned it the whole weekend. But where has your mind been upon seeing these patch notes well after the fact?
Oh, I am on a, I came back from vacation and vacation continued. Because I am now on a Zerg vacation, just slamming Zagara every chance I get, out of practice since I was gone for so long. So I have again. I'm a filthy quick match player, man. I'm a filthy quick match player. But I'm in love. I'm in love with this new Zagara. Obviously, she is exceptionally strong. We're looking at HOTS logs right now. At the most recent patch, Zagara has risen almost 10% to be the #1 highest win rate hero in the game, overtaking Tracer, Kerrigan, Gazlo, Rexar, Samoro, Azul, Asmodan, etc. She's doing quite well. I hate to say it. I think she's a little too strong. I don't want her to be. I want her to just be perfect. I want everyone to just be like happy to see her drafted, but not everyone yelling overpowered. I'm consistent, damn near every game, getting up to like 80k DPS on Zagara, which is high. It's a lot.
It's a bit of a problem in multiple ways. First of all, I have not seen a Zagara game at all, except for our first match of CCS this week, where Cavalier guests forgot that Zagara existed.
I was laughing so hard at that because that was his response too. You stream it, right? We're not like, this isn't going to be misconstrued as talking smack. Yeah, this is out there for you to see. You can go watch these games. Yeah, the Cavalier guest was just like, I'll be honest, I forgot about that hero. Which I get. It's when have we ever banned Zagara on purpose? In the history of this game, we have all been playing since the tech alpha.
Yeah. There's maybe a time like Bully Braxis time period.
I was thinking maybe the last time was when she still had transfusion, so you could go Maw, but still run out of mana. Because that's when it was like full on Assassin Zagara, where you didn't take Nidus, you took Maw, but you still didn't have mana problems.
Yeah, wow. Oh, I'm gonna find that date here.
I think that was 15. I think Corny in chat room is right. I want to say it's 2015. Courtney's also saying Zagara needs to shoot 1.5 banelings at a time instead of 2.
That'd be a nerf.
Would it be the head or the butt?
Man, so the issue with Zagara is that she's just overpowered, for sure. However, you take away that pressure again, and you have someone who is dominated by a bruiser lane. So I don't know how they go about making her be a part of that lane again, a part of that meta, while still nerfing her down. Because as we saw in the game that we played, you draft dive in coordinated play. You just say, oh, that's a squishy bug, let's go squish it. But in solo play, of course, it's going to receive multiple bans over and over again because coordinated and dive is rough. And it's tough to do, and it's tough to be on the same page without, both the mosh pit and the mighty gust hitting at the same time.
Yeah, it's I'm really focused on the baneling aspect of it because that's where the damage is coming from, right? We're now getting that 2 baneling burst, and you can go a baneling build. That's what people are doing. I'm navigating to Zagara's top builds right now to kind of take a look at the win rate. And yeah, like Volatile Acid at 1 has a 60% win rate if we look at the most recent patch on Hot Slogs. Same goes for Baneling Massacre at 7, has a near 60% win rate. The pick rates are completely in favor of Banelings, and so are the win percentages. Shouldn't be a big surprise. Banelings got massively nerfed. But the thing is like you can dodge Banelings, right? Like, and I realize that the best Zagaras are leaving as little up to chance as possible by basically being melee Zagaras. You just kind of shotgun your enemy with Banelings, which I think is a really exciting way to play and certainly leaves you open to counterplay, right? Because if you're getting yourself that close, if you're getting that far ahead of the lane, if say you're trying to actually murder the solo laner across from you, you are leaving yourself open for a gank, but there's also the pickup game concerns that you'd already mentioned. But like, if we start stripping that damage back out, it's so, I think it's going to so quickly fall off because there's always the chance of missing your shot, right?
There's also the summon, which is the other issue there, because if you dive Zagara, the summon's going free. And in that kind of 1v1 bruiser scenario, they can't deal with both because so many of them are melee. So what are you going to do in that case? Now, there is a little bit of power creep just in, dealing with creep. Like Hogger's bomb, his easy throw dynamite, gets rid of a creep tumor in 1 hit. Whereas many other sort of counter plays you might have, even on other bruisers, require a hit, and then you kind of walk yourself all the way over there and do the 2 autos that might be needed in the remaining health of it.
We almost need like a backwards version. Listening to you talk, I think we need a backwards version of Die Alone on Malthael, where Malthael has a talent in. Is it Die Together? What's the one where?
But you're asking for a Die Together.
Well, I'm saying like Malthael has to spec a certain way to be effective damage-wise alone by himself. Mm-hmm. We need the other opposite for Zagara. Like, I still think we want notable damage from her in a teamfight scenario, but the real problem is her prowess in the solo lane. Yet again, so we need like Banelings to do more damage when she's with the team, but we need to tone it back when she's in the top, or not always top lane, but solo lane. And I don't know if that's this is the first place my brain is going right now. I don't know how much any of the designers on the Heroes team would even be receptive to that if it's too complicated.
I see what you mean. This is how we get some really strange stuff in the game, though, like even Solo Tank Imperius being one that actually happened. For example, if Crash Lightning was actually as good as it would need to be picked, with the amount of work it takes to complete, people would just run Thrall in the 4-man. And so if we take that power to Zagara, she's no longer going to be in the solo lane. She'll just be in the 4-man. So they need to decide, is she a ranged assassin with a 4-man, or is she going to be a solo competitor? And that's a great question. Right now, we're seeing absolutely that Baneling build is 100% the way to go. People are stacking the Envenom Spine on top of it for that damage over time, because you eventually take that Pact Instinct that causes your Hunter Killer, your Hydralisk, to mark the target and deal 25% more damage from Zagara and her summons. So at level 20, she has a power spike. And along the way there, Corrosive Saliva has a power spike. Other than maybe forced survivability at 13, there really isn't a level where something's not happening that makes Zagara more threatening. And we have so many heroes like that.
And even then, at 13, you take Hydralisk Transfusion, and it does make her more threatening because she is now harder to kill if you make that dive that you were just talking about, because now the Hydralisk is just going off and healing Zagara. There's a reason that is picked 72% of the time over the other two options at level 13.
Right. And we do have some heroes, though, that are more base kit based and less on talents. So right now, it's both for Zagara. And we could even ask that question, too. Do they want her to be a base kit hero again with that early game bully? Or do they want her power to be tied to these Banelings? A lot of people have said things like, the Baneling Massacre is such an oversight. In comparison to the other talents at 7, it does seem that way, but it's just so fun and enjoyable. I don't think it was just forgotten about.
No, and it's, I don't know if I had been here for the episode where we discussed this with a day to play with it, I think it would have been like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Zagara's been so unimpactful for so long. I don't think I can really register the thought of Zagara being the best hero in the game.
It's pretty intense. And it's had a really wide effect on the meta overall, as basically every other hero has lost a lot of win rate, as what happens when you climb the win rates, of course.
Yeah.
But we're actually seeing a slight resurgence in things like Illidan, because Illidan can dive Squishy Zagara and evades the Hunter Killer's basic attacks and can stick to her as she runs away with increased movement speed.
Yeah. Also, I don't think anyone called Zagara is going to be basically a melee range hero after this, right? Like, there's a surprising amount of her prowess that comes down to player behavior, which is overly aggressive Zagara play, which is just not how we've played Zagara really ever.
Right. We're even seeing those kind of big counters, like Zeratul would be one you might expect. Just even that has only a 46% win rate. But really surprising, and perhaps counter to or adding to this conversation, is things like Hanzo, Junkrat, Chromie are all having an awful time as well, because the Banelings go very far. So you've got the guy in your face who's dead. You almost front to back it. And then once you get rid of that front line, you still zone out the back line.
Yeah, I mean, we could mess with the projectile speed of the Banelings, right? Because that would give your at least ranged characters more time to react. You could increase she stands still when she fires out the Banelings, right? If we increase the delay between Baneling 1 and Baneling 2, that's, again, I'm trying to think of like less obvious ways. Obviously, I'm totally biased here. If you can tell, sure. Love the new Zagara. I would really like Zagara to stay meta. Do I want to be doing do I think I should be doing the damage that I'm currently doing for the rest of the time? No, it's too much. It is absolutely too much. But I'm trying to think of other ways that it can be tweaked beyond just scaling back the damage. I have a very strong suspicion that they're just going to scale back the damage. But I like talking to you about other things, other knobs that can be tuned, right? And totally. I think one is the delay between Baneling 1 and Baneling 2. But the more you increase the delay, the more awkward it is going to be from a control aspect of Zagara, because she does stop moving when she launches those Banelings.
And that cast time did get increased in this patch. So they did, at least, it was from 0.0625 to 0.125. So not ridiculously huge. You're certainly not locked in for a very long time. I was about to say Arthas style. I don't know those numbers, so I won't say that. But we have a feeling about that sort of thing.
Arthas is very dramatic. He has to make a scene when he fires out that death coil.
And Junkratting, if you will, with like Junkrat's Q, a Zagara that's kind of like hup, hup, just shooting out banelings on the move, that would be silly. And I don't think we want like target lock on walking backwards. Actually, now that I say it, it looks real cool in my head. I kind of like it.
Walking backwards, firing banelings?
Yeah, you know, because Junkrat, he's in motion. Tracer as well has that tech where he's always facing the direction he's currently attacking. So when you walk backwards while firing your Q, Junkrat doesn't turn around and then go hook Q, and turn around like Ana does, making herself motion sick. Junkrat kind of stays focused where he's currently firing. So a like crab walk Zagara going backwards in motion while also firing banelings is actually very alien, and I kind of love it, like a dark beast from a horror movie skittering up the wall.
I love everything about that, except I personally still have so much trouble with Tracer and Junkrat in terms of understanding how that works.
Sure, and these would be firing in straight lines. They wouldn't be bouncing. It'd be a very different thing, and we'd have to tune her down again in order to now have this increased functionality. So my question to you would be, where is your fun on Zagara at? And can they maintain what's keeping it fun for you while giving it a nerf? Because if what you find fun is killing everybody with banelings, then I'm sorry. That's
what I find fun is actually being good, period. Like, Zagara was already fun. Zagara is already one of the most unique and interesting heroes, I think, in the game, in my opinion. This is me, Garrett, my personal opinion. I love Zagara. I think she has a phenomenally fun kit. The problem is, for like the last 2 years, just hasn't brought enough to the table. She's been outclassed by every other solo laner that has risen up in her stead. She just couldn't, like, she lost during the Sonya meta, lost during the Rexar meta. You know, hell, Chen would just eat a Zagara's lunch. She needed more damage. This is too much.
Are you doing Devouring Maw?
I'm still nidusing more often than not, but it depends on the comp of the map.
Sure.
If I think they're going to be clumped up, I think we're going to be fighting into chokes. So, you know, your tribute fights, your Garden of Terror seed fights, I'm a lot more likely to go Maw. But again, also it's like, I don't know, do they have Li Ming? Then maybe not so much, because Li Ming's going to be nowhere near the Maw. What's their front line look like? And also, like, how much, I also kind of look at my own comp. It's like, well, are we going to be able to do anything off of the back of the Maw besides just me, you know, lining up my banelings?
That's the answer I was kind of looking for. I was curious if you felt Nidus was still required, because I'm having mana issues, and I don't like hearthing in Zagara.
Yeah, I don't either, but sometimes Maw is just really freaking good. It's okay if you have mana issues if 3 out of the 5 members of the opposing team are dead.
Good way to judge it.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm finding my fun because she plays the way she essentially always has. She's just now viable. So they just need to find. To me, my focus is on they need to find a way to make the solo lane more fair against a Zagara. So I don't know. I bet they're going to target damage, but I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong and that there's something a little more kind of creative that we're not thinking of.
Well, what else hit you from the patch? Kind of checking on it after the fact.
Big ole. What the hell is going on with Morales? It just seems like a nerf to me. I'll be completely honest. I looked at all those talents and I kind of glazed over and was like, I will let other people figure this out for me. But yeah. Why in God's name did we nerf her base kit? Like, I look at that and I'm just like, listen, I'm not very good at math, but I'm pretty sure she's getting less energy regen now, which she is. Also, she's going to die easier now. She has less health.
She had a very, very short stint of an 8% up win rate in the first couple of days, which was basically everyone forgetting that you could dive her and that you would target the thing she was healing. And you're like, why isn't this going to die? Oh, right. Allow me to now adjust my targeting, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, let's scroll down Hotslog. Where's Morales? Let's play Find the Morales. Let's go all the way to the bottom and seventh from the bottom. Lieutenant Morales hanging out with Decker, Dazebo, Nova, Hanzo, Genji, Medivh.
above Deckard, that's sad. Right next to Ariel, too. Oh, man, we have kind of a crunched healer meta.
Deckard is up 1%, whereas Morales has only fallen since the patch.
Yeah.
Not by much. Frankly, Morales just really hasn't been affected all that much in terms of
our
overall
above 50% win rate healers right now are Brightwing, Uther, Anduin, Stukov, Kharazim, Tyrande, and Lucio. So we're in an aggressive healer meta. And then there's Anduin, who's in like the I'm going to save you. And you go, oh, right. We drafted a Stitches or Garrosh, and everything was based on that.
Yeah. It's weird, man. Grenade build still seems to be doing okay. Grenade build has a much higher, has an above 50% win rate according to the HOTS logs. But that's pretty much it. Everything starts to kind of dip below 50% after that. It's just a weird one for me. I wouldn't have looked at Morales and been like, needs less health.
Well, in theory, the idea would be that they were giving her that talent treatment where she gains power over the course of the match. So therefore, she didn't need the old Zagara treatment of being powerful hitting the field. However, as many people have noted, you took Morales in the first place because you were going to say, we will win early and I don't want to play the late game here. I think even against things like maybe an extreme and maybe not, particularly meta viable here, but, something that might come up is like a Cho'Gall. You just say, I don't want him to get to 13-16. I don't want to deal with that. We're going to win before that. Let's get Morales. And that is not doable anymore. And her grenade talents are also displacing people and causing people to miss in solo queue. So she's currently down 0.7% of her old win rate, basically where she was with new toys.
Yeah, just strange. I don't know. Maybe, Juice Pirates, there's always a chance for Juice Pirates, Kyle.
It's true, but there's other healers that have taken over that Juice Pirate role. In fact, I think you see more like Rhaegar Bloodlust aggressive double support with the current version of Juice Pirates. I'm not entirely in the know about this. To me, the whole juicing is getting in the medevac and jumping business.
Yeah, me too. I still think of that as like a key component of it is like surprise core presence.
Right.
Which isn't going to happen with Rhaegar, but with Rhaegar, you have surprise core dead. So, yeah. Morales is in a weird place. Like you said, we're in an aggressive healer meta. And Morales just isn't aggressive enough.
Yeah, particularly with the likes of Stukov kind of leading the way. Not the highest win rate hero, but just reactive Ballistospore. All these sort of new toys he keeps getting to be more aggressive. The days of sitting with your hand over the gate in the back and doing nothing are gone. You got way more to do than that. And you don't need heals if you're just killing them all with Kharazim.
Yeah. Maybe she needs a little more damage, like just upper white damage. Give her some more basic attack oomph.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, just make her a little bit more of a stutter steppy like all the other Marines. But that was just a head scratcher. And then the last one is I actually haven't played Tyrande yet, but on paper I'm super stoked about these changes. Sentinel resets on kills and self-heal on basic attacks that gets empowered by Hunter's Mark. That's really, really exciting. It's just that my historical favorite hero is currently the best hero in the game, so I've just been enjoying it.
Absolutely. You went and got yourself a pack of Oreos, and those apples are going to wait.
Which is a shame because Oreos last longer than apples.
Yes, but if you destroy the Oreos tonight, you won't be unhealthy for a full week. And that's why it's such a sweet comparison, Garrett, because you're destroying the Oreos now because you know they won't be available later because the dev will eat them all before you get up.
So are you telling me that Kofalt is our roommate that eats all of our food in this analogy?
I would like to think instead he's more the kind, caring individual that says, Kyle, I would like to enjoy this meal later. I'm going to put it in a special box. Please do not eat this out of the fridge.
Okay, fair. Can you tell I'm afraid that Zagara is just going to go right back to obsolescence?
I think that's an absolutely fair fear. And I bet you he's aware of it because she is very fun right now. And we're all waiting to see what happens. And we're already at the 2-week mark. which would be 2 weeks away from the next balance patch on our current cadence.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't know about you. I'm looking for this next one. Like when it hits, if it hits in 2 weeks, I'm like, cool. I will officially call it the new cadence. I don't think we've gotten enough. We need one because right now it's been 3 patches on the 4-week cadence.
Right.
If we get a 4th, man, yeah, I'm saying
it's real.
I'm calling it. Kofalt was on the show and said you'll notice a pattern. Refused to tell us what the pattern was going to be, but did say that we should notice a pattern.
Dude, a lot's riding. I'm sorry, Kofalt. A lot's riding on you. You're the parent who came out at Christmas and was like, guys, this is going to be a real small Christmas this year. And then you hit us with an Xbox and we all go, oh my God, it wasn't a small Christmas after all. But that betrayal will hurt.
And
that
64.
betrayal will hurt.
Other than that, looking at, again, it's as always, Hotslogs is as good as many uploads as we're getting over there. But it's still a large sample size that we actually can look at. This is a pretty tame patch. Like, there's not a lot of huge, massive upheaval and movement. Murden's up less than 1%. Artanis is up less than 1%. The Haka's up just barely over 8%, but he was also very, very low. And these are all heroes that received buffs. Tyranda's technically down, essentially didn't go anywhere. It's how small of a movement Tyrande made. Same goes for Falstad and Jaina, who have barely moved since their buffs from the most recent patch. So Zagara aside, this is a pretty tame patch in terms of meta upheaval.
And I've been enjoying a lot of different heroes. You may have heard, Garrett, and I didn't get to brag to you directly. I made it to Masters on my Cassia before it got nerfed.
I did hear because I congratulated you on as a friend in person. Well, that's not right. In person, but in private channels that you and I talk in when we're not being recorded.
Exactly, but I wanted to make a show of it here and make you congratulate me again on the air.
Congratulations, Kyle, on Masters.
Thank you. But then they went and nerfed Cassia. She's down 0.8%. It's not huge. She's at right 50%. But I've been having. Well, then
don't thank me for congratulating you. Thank Kofalt for waiting to nerf.
Yes, thank you for waiting and fulfilling my request of 2 weeks. I got it, but now I'm shopping again. I got to do a lot of work because that limit testing, that trading I'm doing is just a little bit different. And her as an early pick is just a little bit not the right thing anymore. So I'm doing a lot of Falstad actually on my ult account, getting that trained up. And I've been having a really good time. Auto attack build works for my brain. I was always horrible at the whole gathering storm boomerang stuff.
Can I dig into a technical term you just mentioned? I've heard this thrown around a little bit recently, but I don't really know what it means when applied to video games limit testing. What does that mean? Because
so it's basically a fancy way of saying, can I kill them? I don't know if I can kill them. I'm going to try. And you go Zeratul diving into a fort range and try to get the kill, and then you die horribly and go, oh, okay. So I can't kill a Zagara under a fort. And now you have limit tested that out of your brain.
Okay. Because not that long ago, you remember when I went and did the track day thing? I think I mentioned it on here. I actually went and raced my car on a track.
Yeah.
Limit breaking was a thing I learned. And it was basically the same thing where I was like, my instructor was like, you need to learn the limit of your brakes because that will improve your lap time. Because if you know you can brake harder, that means you can you can start braking later and have, essentially carried more speed.
As opposed to the anime meaning, which is point at the sky and break the limits and go beyond.
That's a limit break.
Yes, that's limit break.
Yes, absolutely. So that's fascinating. Okay, so it's essentially the same thing. It's just that there's a lot more things that you can limit test in heroes because it could be X hero, Y situation, and you can repeat that for multiple heroes in multiple situations under a fort, under a keep, under a core, under a bruiser buff way of pushing down the line. What can you get away with?
Exactly. It's a great way to dismiss a mistake for some people, but it is also something that's very important. And you note it. You are specifically saying to yourself, I am 2 levels up. It's going to be, I'm getting ganked in a 2v1. The best thing I can do right now is to try to kill one of these people before they get me. So at least I trade 1 for 1. With my 2-level lead, I'm going to note that, and I'm going to try this. And I will make decisions based on that later. So with the Cassian nerf, it was Surge of Light, and it was the main Q build kind of quests went down. So my limits are all off now, and I'm losing closer to 50-50 rather than the like 75 I had as a one trick going there. Because I'm making more mistakes. So I'm back on kind of my alt account. I'm in plat, just breaking 50-50. Orphea, Falstad, lots of Hanzo, because I always end up with like Asmodans, and I have to be like, oh my god, what can do both? Self-imposed bans. So I'm not playing Tychus, I'm not playing Cassie on that alt account, I'm not playing Zul'jin. Because I know those. I don't need to limit test those.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like you're in a really good headspace.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. To that note, the other nerfs were Blaze, who went down 2.6, Lucio down 0.8, which is super tame for losing that unstoppable, and Asmodan down 0.6, still sitting at a 53. He's doing just fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, we haven't talked about this in a while. Are you like inherently bummed, happy kind of level when there isn't a lot of movement in win rates post a patch? Do you ever look at it through that lens?
Personally, I'm pretty unaffected by this patch in that way. I think that my personal issue right now in growing as a heroes player is the draft. And balance often targets something that's overperforming, meaning we limit the early picks down again. And I feel like this patch did that a little bit, targeting that Lucio, Cassia, Blaze, Asmodan even, but it wasn't all that affected.
Well, yeah. Even say Zagara was it. That was the only thing of note in this whole patch, making Zagara like an auto ban, suddenly freeze one slot up. That was just not an option, right?
Right, and Vala still exists, and she's doing, okay, we still control her. Stitches still exists, so one of the weird things about the current balance has been that we have these extreme outliers, but we also continue to limit the first picks. And we're starting to enter a world, particularly in the high leagues, where nobody wants to early pick their hero unless it's OP. So we kind of have to throw, not to the wolves. What's the opposite of the wolves? To the audience, to the boxes. We have to throw into the king seat some hero just to make sure it's super powerful to take that spot of things we keep toning down. And that'd be the only issue I see with this sort of style of balance, is that we need something elevated so drastically in order to account for what's happening in the draft.
Yeah. I also tend to look at that as just a artifact of the age of the game. The game has been around for a long time. Let's find the limits of the individual heroes. How far can we push Vala? Like, okay, yeah, not that far. Bring it back.
Absolutely. And, people I saw on Reddit were complaining about this sort of balanced style. And my reaction was just, this is our content. Like, don't be knocking balance right now, because this is how we're freshening up the game over and over. It's not new skins. It's not new heroes all the time. This wild ride is very purposeful, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. No, I am too. I have really enjoyed Heroes in 2021.
By the way, we'll just do let's do a incidental and improvised sponsor here. Go to Hot Slogs and upload your replays. It's now easier than ever to upload replays over at hotslogs.com.
Yeah, that's right. It had been pointed out that it was behind you have to be logged into your account to get to upload replays. That's gone now. It's forward facing. You can get the upload, or you can upload directly on the website without having to log in. So if you don't want a Hot Slogs account, but you still want to contribute statistics to the website, you can just go do it. Don't need an account. Go to hotslogs.com. Though I would recommend an account. You can claim your battle tag. You can see your own personal stats. It's great. It's good
You don't
stuff.
have to search for yourself and then realize there's like 20 people with your same name and then have to guess which one's you because again, they have to go look at the number of games you played. By the way, I am the Taras with the most games played, so I've got that going for me.
Well, the real Kyle Fergusson, please stand up.
Real Taras.
Y'all act like you've never seen a reincarnating monster before.
There you go. Ooh, tying it in. I like that.
Yeah, go to hotslogs.com. We appreciate it. Now let's, you mentioned CCL. We should mention that season 3 is confirmed. Season 2 is concluded, and CCL has confirmed that they will be returning for a season 3 later this year.
Yes, October, which ain't that far off, which is really, really exciting because that means we continue to have a pretty healthy streaming culture for this game. A lot of players naturally are going to go where the numbers are and where the money is. And if we waited till next year, there's a good chance many of them might find other games, hobbies to pursue. But being so back to back, a lot of these teams are heading straight into things like NGS. If they're EU, they might head over to Heroes Lounge. They're going to participate in local tournaments to stay fresh and then compete in CCS CCL right after that. So I'm really excited about this because our caliber of play over the past 2 seasons has only gone up. And I think we'll see that upward trend continue.
Yeah, I think 3 seasons a year would be basically perfect.
Absolutely. They're pretty hardy seasons.
Yeah, it would fill it out nicely and but at the same time, give me enough time to miss it and be excited when it returns. Which I know I've talked about in the past. I think that's important.
Oh yeah, you got to build it up.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
Oh, it's also pretty exciting how much the prize pool was advanced by the community. In fact, they raised some $22,000 for the community prize pool from donations alone.
Yeah, that is it's staggering. I believe the grand total that was distributed at the end of season 2 was over $44,000.
Correct.
It's impressive. I'm so happy for CCL. I'm happy it is here, and I'm happy that it's doing well.
They've made some very cool advancements. I love that I get to participate in any way too. Like getting to do the halftime interviews, that's a treat, and getting to do the replay interviews, which are going to continue actually. Heroes Hearth is going to be grabbing community-based tournament replays, and I'll still get to sit down with those players and make a hero guide out of one of their games.
Wait, what if it's one of your games? Will you have to interview yourself?
Well, as much as it pains me to admit it with my measly 563 Masters points, Garrett, I don't think I'll be interviewing myself.
Okay.
Because there's 4,000 plus Masters point people who are in the CCL.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
another caliber.
What you gonna do?
Not be that good. not today.
Yep. Blue posts have been pretty quiet, which makes sense. This is in line with Cofalt's kind of stating when we can expect to hear him start piping up, which is right before a patch breaks, and we should be in the midpoint right now, so he should be quiet. However, Blizz D. Warner did check in with us on the subreddit saying, personally, I'm working on 2 reworks, some changes for the next balance patch coming soon, and some stuff I can't talk about yet.
2 reworks, huh?
2 reworks. Who you think's getting reworked, Kyle?
Well, these things take a long time. If we were to go off of immediate requests, right now, Probius is the one everybody's hollering. He got his lunch, he didn't even show up with breakfast. He didn't have a dinner either. The only thing he had was lunch, and Zagara ate it. If stats work the magical way that they don't actually work, Zagara is up 9.8%, and Probius is down 9.7%. Probius has nothing going for him anymore. He usually is one of the highest win rates in the game, next to things like Lost Vikings, even Samuro. He's gone from existence right now. People don't know how to draft alongside of him because he's weird, and he brings very obscure and oddly timed damage. I can see them maybe thinking about this in the past. It's very glaring right now, though.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre. Do you know who I think might be cruising for a reworking?
Who?
Thrall.
Oh, really?
Kyle, without looking, I have the answer in front of me. When do you think the last time Thrall was even adjusted in a patch?
Oh man, he went on a bit of a bunker scenario with his earthquake for a bit. So probably 2018.
Oh no, he's been adjusted more recently than that, but it's still been a while. The last time Thrall appeared in a balance patch was in December of last year, where they upped the physical armor on Feral Resistance at 4, messed with Spirit Shield, and messed with World Breaker. And yeah, I'm currently on heroespatchnotes.com. Shout out to them. It looks like he only got 2 changes in 2020. According to this, it was once in December, once in January of last year. That was it.
That's a weird one. I don't know what you do with him. He's a surprise pick. He's for the Leoric or the Sonya, who doesn't know what his build actually is for Giant Killer. He's got so much Giant Killer power. He's incredible when people don't know what you're doing. And if they do know what you're doing, you just hide behind the wall, and then, he's not as powerful as you later on. It's a very, very tough pickle for him. I don't see a full rework for Thrall. I think he's very fun. I think he's got some really cool toys. If they rework Nova again, I don't know. I don't have any threats to make. I'm not going to do anything.
I think Nova is in a Zagara position where her kit is just very unique. It's very special. She has her own fan base. As a Zagara player, I didn't really want a kit rework because I think the kit is great. It's fun. It's exactly what I want to be doing. Nova players out there, please let me know if I am projecting too much, but I kind of get that vibe from Nova. She's very unique, the way that she works with decoys and the way that she has her kind of hardcore fans that tend to play nothing but Nova. I would be very surprised if they did a massive overhaul on Nova. Although, however, our expectations of reworks have also changed, Kyle. A lot of now, post 2021 Heroes of the Storm rework. A rework is a massive overhaul of a majority of talents more than anything else.
Yeah, very rarely to the size we saw in 2020 there with Diva and Gazlo. That sort of was the final art-based content changes that we really felt.
Yeah.
I'm taking a little look here at old Illidan. He's gotten touched a little bit. He got that 7 and 6 or 4 and 7 switcheroo back in
Yeah. I'm still seeing an Illidan here and there, whereas before March, I was basically never seeing Illidan. What's his popularity at the moment? I haven't looked at Illidan in a long, long time. Only picked 8% of the time in Storm League on the most recent patch. So hardly running away with the popularity.
Yeah, I'd say looking at these popularities, you got things like Zarya and Hammer. Those aren't bad there. Hammer has a very real place. It's versus Tracer, but it's a very real place. And, Zarya has a lot of cute comps she fits into and can be a surprise pickup in kind of a triple bruiser sort of thing. Medivh, that's just us at home. We're weirdos like that. Yrel is a little limited, but that's just because of our current meta with the other bruisers and the amount of CC we're running. But yeah. Probius, of all the art assets in the game, Probius is the one that will just be economic.
Yeah, and of course, chat room is mentioning the Tyrael rework, which has already been hinted at. So,
there's
right. Also that's right. To contend with.
They did a talent switcheroo to placate us. That's not the right word. To entertain us. In the meantime,
I think it was admitted as much that we're going to give you what's ready right now to just breathe a little life into the hero before rework time.
It's actually done a really good job at that. I see a lot of Tyrael.
You know, Cal, I'm going to come real quick. I want to loop back on the popularity of Illidan because 8% is actually notable. Look at the heroes that Illidan is more popular than in Storm League. He is above Rexar and Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, Malthael as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk that up to a successful little March patch for Illidan.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Mephisto even, and Mephisto's like, oh, here comes Mephisto. Yeah, okay. Not bad.
Yeah. Rhaegar, 6.5%. I thought Rhaegar was more popular than that. But
he's got healing issues. He could get Zagara so easy, just a simple numbers change, and he would be everywhere again.
Yeah, but I am currently set to all leagues. So I always considered Rhaegar like a popular one, but I guess not.